Good morning, YouTube. It's the governor on another morning commute moto vlog. As you can see here, it's beautiful weather on the east coast of the United States. And this morning we're going to have a discussion about what motorcycle is good for a new rider. Now there's lots of videos out there already that address this. Most of them address it really well. Some of them, everyone has their own opinion. Everyone's started on something different, but this will be my particular experience. Hopefully it helps somebody out. So when I first started getting into motorcycles, I've only been riding for a couple of years now. So this is all fresh. This isn't 10 years ago. This is all fresh over the last couple of years. I wanted to get into motorcycles for a couple of reasons. I actually originally wanted to get a moped type deal, Honda Ruckus in particular, just as a commuting tool. What I ended up doing was getting a Lemon that was absolutely useless. Luckily a friend helped me out and took it off my hands. But that was about, I think, 8 years ago, and then I got the itch again probably in 2015. I wanted to ride, and a particular bike had caught my eye. It was a Ducati Scrambler. They just released the Scramblers, and I saw it. One of my buddies showed me in a like a men's sort of website that shows cool tech and stuff like that. And I was like, if I bought a bike, that's the kind of bike I'd want to ride. So I was away at work, and I was doing research on the bike. And the first thing that came up to me, my thought was, 800cc. It was pretty talky according to all the reviews, and it worried me a bit because I would be a brand new rider. From all the videos I'd watched and the research I had done, it wasn't the horsepower that gets you, it's the torque. Controlling that torque, being light on the throttle. And up to this point I had literally never ridden a motorcycle. And I was thinking, is that what I really want to get into on my first bike, or should I get something like a 250 or something like that to just introduce myself and ease myself into the process? And I saved my money and I decided, I'm not going to delve into it just yet. I'll give it some time. And that's what happened. I sat on it basically for a year, and then I had a buddy about a year later who was selling his wife's Ninja 300. She just didn't ride anymore. And I was like, well, that would be a good bike to get into. He'll give it to me for a good deal. It's not got loads of power, but I'm not a sport bike guy, so I wasn't a massive fan of the way it looked. It still looked cool. I think sport bikes look amazing, but that's not what I would want to ride. So I was just like, I don't know. We negotiated back and forth and we came to a price, but overall I just wasn't happy with that being the bike I was going to ride around on, And maybe, I'm a little bit older. Maybe it's more of an image thing, I don't know. But I kept looking back at those Scramblers, and in 2016 they released the 62, which is basically the exact same as the 800, except for obviously half the cc's. Otherwise it looks the same. Actually, I think the 62, the orange one, is probably one of the best looking in the Scrambler range. So I bit the bullet, and that's exactly what I got. Negotiated with the dealer, came home, and in October 2016 picked up my 2016 Scrambler 62. So I went for the lower cc bike, specifically to get my teeth wet. And I think it was a fantastic decision. I took my motorcycle rider course, finished top of the class. Again, I think this is mainly because, you know, I'm an experienced driver. I was a big car guy, always driven manuals, so I understood how clutching works. That was one of the biggest problems people were having. Yeah, I took the course, passed it, got home. First thing I wanted to do obviously was ride my motorcycle, but you know, I was still nervous on the street. And one thing I'll say about the motorcycle riding course, the basic one, is it does not really, it prepares you for the operation of a motorcycle, and it gives you some good ideas about what to look out for on the street, but what it doesn't do is prepare you for other drivers or realistic street riding. It really doesn't. So I went out for my first ride, and all I really did was ride around the block with one of my buddies. She came out on her Monster, and she'd been riding for 6-7 years, and took it around the block, but I was nervous. Even just going around my neighborhood, which is a really nice neighborhood, I was worried. Because you never know, you know, people backing up out of their drives, everyone's all scared, all that kind of stuff. But like anything, as you ride more, you gain experience. And basically, when it wasn't raining, I was riding, so I was using it as my daily commuter to work. We gained a butt ton of experience, and you know, there was other motorcycle riders in my office, but none of them rode as much as I did. Nobody rode like almost daily, especially not when it was cold out. But that's how I built up my experience. But just like the other videos you're going to see, I'm going to say the same thing. It got to a point where, you know, I was now looking at, I want to go on a longer journey, you know, go do some road trips. And the one thing the Scrambler does not excel at, it's a great city bike in and around town, plenty of power to get where you want to go. But as soon as you get on that highway in 6th, you know, there's a big drop in power. It can't touch what bigger bikes can do, you know. So if I wanted to do a cross-country journey or something like that, go visit some family in another state or friends, it wouldn't be on that. You could do it on that bike. I wouldn't feel comfortable, and it's not to do with the nakedness. I can take the wind, but I realized, so probably about a year later, I started looking at bigger bikes. No, I didn't want to get rid of the Scrambler. I wanted to still use it as a commuter, get to work and whatnot. The gas mileage is great. Again, it looks wonderful. But I was talking to a bunch of dealers. I was looking at BMWs. I have a soft spot for Ducati, obviously. Well, they're absolutely beautiful bikes, so anyone that says different is lying to you. But I was looking at the R9T, which is basically very similar to the Scrambler. Beautiful bike, but just wasn't really doing it for me. I was looking at the GS800 as well. You know, that'd be a good commuter bike, but it's just, there's nothing that stands out to me. Probably a great adventure bike, probably lasts forever, but there's nothing that just stands out that you just go, whoa, you know, you don't look at it every day and go, that bike's beautiful. And so I went back to the Ducati dealership and was looking at the Ducatis, and oh, that guy's very close to the curb. Oh my gosh, he's gonna, okay. Yeah, and I've always loved the Hypermotard just because it's so insane. And I test drove one, and that was it. That's what sealed the deal for me. Test drove that bad boy and it was exhilarating. And so I moved up to a bigger bike. So I still have the Scrambler right now. It's actually available for purchase, but it's one of those deals where if I don't sell it, I'm not too bothered if I don't. So there you go. Should you start on a lower CC bike? Sure. Could I have started on a Hypermotard? I could have. I would have probably put myself in a lot more danger, and there were situations where I gave it too much throttle or something like that. I haven't gone into any crazy situations, but definitely situations like that. And because of the Scrambler's power band, I never got too bad. So again, that's a personal preference. That's something that you have to decide. But me personally, it worked out great. I mean, if you haven't got, I'm not saying go out there and buy a brand new Ducati bike or anything like that. I probably shouldn't have done it that way. I had the money, so why not? But if you don't, I would definitely start on a used bike. I would start on a lower CC bike, thrash it, have fun on it, learn the gears, learn, safe driving, all that good stuff. Learn how other people drive around you while you're on a motorcycle, because it's definitely different in a good way and a bad way. And then, if you want to save up for your dream bike then, 2 or 3 years later, have at it. That would be what I would suggest. Again, it's going to be up to you at the end of the day. So do what's best for you. Definitely test drive, and definitely shop around. If you're I'm an impulsive buyer, and it's got me in trouble in my past. I'd like to think I don't do it as much now in my later years of life, but people get excited. We're all human. Shop around, find what you want, get a good deal if you can. And one thing you do have to think about is insurance, because insurance on these bikes is crazy. So insurance on my Scrambler was not bad at all. But bought the Hypermotard and I had to change insurance companies because it was so ridiculous, like triple what I was already paying, which is absolutely insane for a man of my age and driving record. But that's what you have to do. You have to shop around for insurance too. So I shopped around. I found a much better deal. So that's all we've got for today. Thanks for listening. If you're interested in more videos like this, like and subscribe and comment, and I'll reply to all the comments. And have a great rest of your day. This is the Governor signing out. Peace.